Overthinking is a silent thief that steals your peace and creates chaos in your mind. It's easy to get caught in the storm of your thoughts, ruminating over the past, worrying about the future, or endlessly analyzing the present. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and are seeking a way to find inner peace, this video is for you. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to tame the chaos within and embrace a life of tranquility and focus. You might think that these lessons from over 2,000 years ago wouldn't apply today, but I'm here to show you how these timeless principles are more relevant than ever in our modern, hectic lives. Now, if you appreciate the insights and stories we're going to explore together, do me a simple, free favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us bring more of these life-changing ideas to you and others who might benefit from a little less chaos and a lot more peace. And remember, don't skip any part of the video. Each point we're going to discuss has the potential to significantly shift your perspective and perhaps your life. Let's unlock the secrets of the Stoics together, and I promise you'll walk away from this video not just informed, but transformed. The power of the present. When it feels like your mind is a time machine, zipping back to past regrets or zooming forward to future worries, it's time to hit the brakes and park yourself firmly in the present. This might sound a bit abstract, so let's break it down. Picture this. You're at a great concert, but instead of enjoying the music, your mind wanders to a mistake you made earlier in the week or what you need to do tomorrow. Sounds familiar, right? This is where Stoicism steps in, reminding us that the only true possession we have is now, the present moment. Stoic philosophy isn't about suppressing your past or ignoring your future. It's about embracing the present with full awareness. Think of the present as your point of power. It's the stage where you can act, decide, and live. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present task, treating it as if it were your last. He wasn't being morbid. He was highlighting the intensity and focus that comes from living in the moment. So, how do you practice this? Start by tuning into your immediate environment. Notice the colors around you, the sounds, the smells. This sensory check-in is a practical way to anchor yourself. When your senses are engaged, there's less room for your mind to wander off. It's like telling your brain, "Hey, look here, this is where we're at. Let's make the most of it." This simple act can cut through the noise of overthinking and bring a surprising calmness, clearing the way for more joy and less worry. Another way to live in the now is through what the Stoics call voluntary discomfort. It's about small, intentional practices like taking a cold shower or skipping a meal. These actions aren't just for building resilience. They're about pulling you back into the present. They sharpen your ability to control your response to the here and now, rather than letting your mind drag you back and forth through time. Mindfulness, a concept that resonates with Stoic traditions, is also key. It's about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Imagine sitting by a stream, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought or a feeling. Your job isn't to grab at the leaves, but to watch them drift past. This detachment allows you to recognize that thoughts are just thoughts. They don't control you. You control how you engage with them. Living in the present also means letting go of the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt your inner dialogue. This doesn't mean you don't plan for the future or learn from the past, but you do so in a way that serves you right now. It's about making the past and future relevant to the present. Use them as tools, not as chains. Your mind is the sky. Ever noticed how a cluttered room can make you feel overwhelmed, like you can't think straight until you've tidied up? Well, our minds work in much the same way. When our mental space is cluttered with a jumble of thoughts, it can be tough to find peace or clarity. Just imagine your mind like a sky filled with clouds. Some days it's stormy and overcast. Other days it's clear and sunny. The key to finding that sunny clarity is understanding that thoughts, much like clouds, are transient. They come and go, but they don't have to define your sky. Stoicism teaches us not to get attached to our passing thoughts. It encourages us to view these thoughts as external events, much like the weather. You wouldn't try to stop a cloud from moving across the sky, right? Similarly, trying to block or control every thought isn't just exhausting, it's futile. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often spoke about observing thoughts without getting swept away by them. They saw the value in stepping back and realizing, this is just a thought, and thoughts aren't facts. But how do you actually do that? It starts with awareness. Begin by simply noticing your thoughts. Picture yourself sitting by a stream, and each thought is a leaf floating by. Some leaves might catch your attention more than others, but instead of grabbing them and examining every detail, you just let them float by. This exercise isn't about emptying your mind, but rather about not letting yourself get carried away by every leaf that drifts past. Another effective way to manage your mental clutter is through reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the thoughts that dominated your mind. Were they necessary? Were they helpful? Did they improve your day, or did they make it more stressful? This kind of reflection can help you identify patterns in your thinking and learn which thoughts to let pass by more easily next time. Stoicism also introduces the concept of premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This technique involves visualizing the worst-case scenario in detail. It might sound counterintuitive, but by contemplating the worst, you often realize that even if it were to happen, you could handle it. This realization can take the power away from anxiety-inducing thoughts, allowing them to pass through your mind like harmless clouds, not ominous storm fronts. Integrating these Stoic practices into your daily life can transform the way you relate to your thoughts. You start to see that thoughts are not commands. They are merely suggestions, possibilities, and sometimes just noise. By not clinging to every thought, by not letting them dictate how you feel, you free up so much mental space. It's like cleaning up that cluttered room, and suddenly you breathe easier, think clearer, and feel lighter. Release to find relief. Imagine you're driving on a highway and suddenly find yourself in thick fog. Your first instinct might be to grip the steering wheel tighter and try to control the vehicle with even more precision. It's a natural response, but sometimes what we really need to do is slow down, turn on the fog lights, and trust that we'll make it through the haze safely. This is a lot like how we handle the uncertainties of life. We often cling to the illusion of control, thinking if we just hold on tighter, we can manage everything perfectly. But just like driving in fog, sometimes the best approach is to ease up, not tighten our grip. Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided many through the complexities of life, teaches us this art of letting go gracefully. The Stoics believed that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. This idea is liberating because it shifts our focus from trying to control the uncontrollable to mastering what's within our reach, our actions, our responses, and our attitude. Take, for example, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who famously said, "Some things are in our control and others not." He encouraged his students to discern between these two realms and to invest their energy wisely. This distinction is crucial in everyday life. When you find yourself overthinking or stressing over something, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, then it's a signal that you might need to let go of the wheel a bit. Letting go doesn't mean giving up responsibility. It means understanding the limits of your control and focusing on what you can actually influence. It's about doing your best with what's in your hands and then stepping back when there's nothing more to be done. This can apply to anything, from work projects and personal relationships to managing health or financial plans. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is through the practice of reflection and acceptance. At the end of each day, reflect on the moments when you felt the urge to control outcomes. What triggered these feelings? How did you respond? By regularly examining your reactions, you begin to see patterns and learn new ways to let go and trust the process more. Another Stoic practice that can help is the concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This doesn't just mean accepting whatever happens, it's about embracing it as if you had chosen it yourself. It's a powerful way to let go of resistance and make peace with the way things are. Imagine facing a difficult situation and instead of resenting it, you say, "This is exactly what I need." This shift in perspective can transform challenges into opportunities for growth and personal development. Embracing the idea that control isn't everything might feel daunting at first. It can seem like you're leaving too much up to chance. However, the more you practice letting go, the more you realize that it leads to a deeper sense of peace and confidence. You start to trust that, like driving through fog with your fog lights on, you'll navigate through life's uncertainties more effectively, not by grasping tighter, but by steering with a steadier, more trusting hand. Breathe your way to calm. Have you ever noticed how, when things start to spin out of control, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid? It's like your body's natural alarm system alerting you that something's off. And just by changing how you breathe, you can actually calm that chaos inside. This is more than just a cool trick. It's a fundamental practice that can bring you back from the edges of stress and overthinking to a state of calm and clarity. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to approach life's challenges with a composed and rational mind. One of the most immediate things we can control is our breath. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about mastering one's reactions to external events. He knew that the first step to gaining control over your reactions is to stabilize your physical state, starting with your breath. So, let's break down how this works. When you start to feel overwhelmed, pause. Close your eyes if you can and focus on taking a deep, slow breath. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Hold that breath for a count of 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for another count of 4. This method is known as the 4-4-4 breathing technique or box breathing. It's used by everyone from athletes to Navy SEALs to combat stress in high-pressure situations. What it does is help regulate the nervous system, slow the heart rate, and give you a moment of pause, allowing your mind to regroup and refocus. The act of observing your breath also plays a crucial role in this practice. By paying attention to the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of air passing through your nostrils, you anchor yourself in the present moment. This is key in Stoicism, the focus on being fully present and engaged in the now. It's about observing without judgment. When you notice thoughts creeping in, instead of engaging with them or trying to push them away, simply acknowledge their presence and gently bring your focus back to your breathing. This isn't about clearing your mind of thoughts. It's about not letting those thoughts steer your emotions and reactions. Integrating breathing exercises into your daily routine can dramatically change how you interact with the world around you. It's like installing a mental reset button. Whenever you find yourself starting to overthink, or when you're faced with a stressful situation, hitting that button can give you the clarity and calm needed to handle anything more effectively. Moreover, Regular practice of mindful breathing can cultivate a habit of mindfulness. Over time, you'll find that this not only helps in moments of acute stress, but also contributes to a more sustained overall sense of peace and stability. It trains your mind to live less in hypothetical worries and more in the real, tangible moments that make up your life. This Stoic practice of anchoring your mind through breath is empowering because it's always available to you. No matter where you are or what situation you're in, your breath is a tool that you carry within yourself. By learning to focus on and control your breathing, you're not just learning to calm your mind, you're learning to align yourself with Stoic principles of self-mastery and resilience. Simplify your life. Sometimes when you look around your living space or scroll through your digital world, you might feel a bit overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff. From cluttered desktops to overflowing closets, it's easy to see how the physical can reflect and even affect the mental. In a world where more always seems better, it might seem counterintuitive to think that having less could actually make you happier and more at peace. But there's a powerful freedom in stripping back to the essentials, and this is where the Stoic practice of minimalism can really shine. Stoicism teaches us the value of focusing on what's truly important and letting go of the rest. This philosophy isn't just about enduring hardship or suppressing desires, it's about creating space for what genuinely enriches your life. Epictetus urged his followers to keep their lives simple and to avoid getting caught up in the pursuit of wealth or possessions. He believed that peace comes from within and that external circumstances have only as much power as we grant them. Embracing a minimalist lifestyle can start with your physical environment. Take a good look around your home. Each item you own requires a piece of your attention, whether for cleaning, maintenance, or just choosing what to wear or use. By reducing the number of possessions, you reduce these demands on your attention, which can lead to a quieter, more focused mind. This doesn't mean living with nothing. Rather, it means keeping things that serve a purpose or bring you joy and parting with the rest. But simplifying isn't just about decluttering your physical space. It's also about streamlining your commitments and your digital life. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by endless notifications, social media feeds, and the pressure to stay constantly informed. By setting boundaries around your digital consumption, like specific times when you check emails or social media, you give yourself permission to disconnect and focus on the present. This kind of digital minimalism can help you regain control over where and how you spend your mental energy. The Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is deeply connected to minimalism. By simplifying your life, you're essentially stripping away the non-essentials that you can't control and focusing more deeply on what you can: your actions, your work, your relationships. This shift in focus can dramatically decrease feelings of stress and overthinking because you're no longer spreading yourself too thin across too many concerns. Furthermore, minimalism fosters a sense of gratitude. When you live with less, you tend to appreciate more. This is a key Stoic practice, focusing on being thankful for what you have rather than resenting what you don't. Each item, each activity, and each interaction has more value and meaning when it's chosen with intention rather than by default. Starting the journey toward a minimalist lifestyle can be as simple as choosing one area of your life to simplify. Maybe it's your wardrobe, committing to a capsule collection of garments that you love. Or perhaps it's your schedule, deciding to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or bring you satisfaction. Each small step not only adds to your immediate peace, but also builds your confidence in your ability to live according to Stoic principles. Change is the only constant. Isn't it fascinating how the only thing we can truly count on in life is change? Yet so often it's the thing we resist the most. We build our routines, our habits, and our expectations around predictability, and when things inevitably shift, it can throw us off balance. But what if we could not only expect change, but welcome it with open arms? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism can make a profound impact on our lives. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, teaches us to embrace the impermanence of life. The Stoics believed that by accepting that everything is in flux, we can rise above the tumult of our ever-changing world and find true peace of mind. Seneca, one of the most celebrated Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about the inevitability of change and the importance of being as flexible in mind as nature is in its expressions. To start integrating this mindset, consider the nature around you, the way the seasons change seamlessly from spring blooms to summer heat, to the falling leaves of autumn, and finally, to the quiet cold of winter. Each season has its purpose and its beauty. Just as we accept and adapt to these seasonal shifts, we can learn to do the same with changes in our lives. Whether it's a sudden job change, a move to a new city, or shifts within personal relationships, viewing these changes as natural and necessary can significantly reduce our anxiety and overthinking about the unknown. But how do we put this into practice? It starts with letting go of our attachment to outcomes. While it's natural to want certain results from our efforts, attaching our happiness to these outcomes can set us up for disappointment. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our actions and intentions, leaving the results to unfold as they will. This doesn't mean we don't strive or plan. Rather, it means we detach our well-being from the results of our actions. Moreover, embracing change involves recognizing the opportunities that come with new circumstances. Every change brings with it the chance to learn something new, to grow, and to expand our horizons. When we open ourselves up to the possibilities that change can bring, we shift from feeling victimized by circumstances to becoming active participants in our own lives. This proactive stance is empowering. It transforms our experience from one of passivity to one of engagement and adventure. Another Stoic strategy to help cope with change is the practice of reflection and preparation. The Stoics recommended regularly contemplating potential changes and challenges that could arise. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, helps prepare the mind to face possible future scenarios without fear. By mentally rehearsing how you might handle difficult situations, you build emotional resilience and flexibility, making you better equipped to deal with change when it occurs. In embracing change, it's also crucial to maintain a support network of friends and family who can provide different perspectives and emotional support during times of transition. Stoicism doesn't advocate going through life's ups and downs alone. Rather, it encourages building and relying on a community. This support not only helps buffer the stresses that come with change, but also enriches the journey, making the process of adapting not just bearable, but enjoyable. Thank you for joining me today on this journey into the heart of Stoicism. Remember, mastering your mind is the first step to mastering your life. If you're eager to continue exploring how these ancient principles can be applied in modern times, check out one of the suggested videos on your screen right now. Dive deeper and keep building that unshakable inner strength. Thanks for being a part of our Stoic Journal community. Until next time, stay wise and stay calm.